I'm going to go through the process to upgrade the exhaust side guide through the valve cover on these KA24E engines. From 1989 to 1995, Nissan used an all-plastic exhaust side guide. In 1996, a metal-backed plastic faced guide was used. Both of these guides can get damaged from the timing chain when startup rattle can be heard. Most times the chain and sprockets will be in good shape, but the owner is looking at a hefty mechanics bill because the front timing chain cover needs to be removed to replace this guide. To save labor costs, there is a process that can be used to remove the old guide and install a new guide through the valve cover. With the startup rattle, the plastic guides will get broken apart and fall in the oil pan. Once the plastic guide is broke apart, the upper piece you'll find will be swiveling on the fastener. Now the fastener is tight, it's just that these are made so that they float on here. The plastic on the metal backed guides can break and fall away, and the chain will cut grooves in the metal. If not repaired in a timely manner, the chain will continue to cut into the face of the guide and eventually will cut the metal in half. Since you'll be doing this process with the timing chain cover on, I'm going to go ahead and install the timing chain cover and then continue. So you'll want to remove the old tensioner, and I've already done that. You can look at one of my previous videos to see how to deal with that. And then you'll want to rotate the cam sprocket so that the punch mark is on 3 o'clock. Mark the chain and then remove the sprocket and use the bungee to keep that chain from falling off the sprocket on the lower side. And you can look at one of my earlier videos to see how to do that complete process. Then once that's done, you want to get some pretty good rags and stuff them clear to the very bottom. To keep anything from falling in that oil pan. Now, some people like tying a string on these rags so that when they're done they can just pull on the string and get them out, and I suppose that would work. It's a pretty good idea. Once you've got those rags stuffed in there, and we're going to stuff some rags that are cut into strips right down into this area here. And stuff these rags with the strips, stuff those in there tight. And we want this stick to go right down in this area right there where the fastener is. And then also stuff some rags right in this area right here. And you'll be able to see the fastener, stuff it right there in front of the fastener. The next step would be to cut 2 pieces of paper. You're going to use those for locating templates. One is a 3/4 inch diameter circle, and at the 3/4 inch diameter circle you'll take this and locate it right where the radius at this point and this point start, right there at that starting radius. And then go ahead and center punch that, and then get like maybe a 1/16 or 1/8 inch drill bit and drill through there. The 5/8 diameter circle, 5/8 of an inch, locate that right down there and right at where the radius starts on the bottom side and on this edge over here, center punch. And then go ahead and drill another pilot hole through there. So then the upper template is made out of a circle that's 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The lower template is made out of a circle that's 5/8 inch in diameter. Use a 3/4 inch hole saw. Okay, once the holes are drilled, you can reach in and pull these rags out. Or if you've got a shop vac, you can also vacuum a little in there. But the rags will pull the chips out with them. Use a 6mm Allen wrench. And then remove the upper fastener. Now the upper fastener still has the upper part of the guide attached to it. You can reach down inside and grab the guide. Now we need to remove all of the rags from down inside. Using one of these tools works good for removing any of the rags that you need to. So now we're going to install the new guide. And the older guides take this style of a fastener. You can see how it slides through there on that old guide. The new guide takes the same size fastener, but it's just configured slightly different. And we'll drop this down inside. Snug it up. And then we can seal the holes with a 3/4 inch neoprene expansion plug. Make sure it's automotive grade, oil resistant. So at this point you can reassemble, and of course on If you're doing this with your engine in the vehicle, there's no need to remove the water pump and all this other stuff. So that's the basic steps for upgrading the exhaust side guide through the valve cover. We can pull this cover off. New guide in place, and we can see the expansion plug, the lower plug, right between this area right here, and the upper plug is nested right in there real nice. And there you have it. That's the basic steps for upgrading the exhaust side guide through the valve cover.